so videos like these are exactly why I started making TikToks. And it's the whole reason behind my little slogan is we deal in facts here, because too often people will latch onto buzzwords, latch onto headlines, and make an entire video informing or educating their followers about a topic that they fail to grasp the context or the basic principles of themselves. Let's look again and see exactly what it is she's celebrating about in her video. Okay, here's what she said. Breaking. Trump just said he wants to close the Department of Education and move education back to the states. So the whole crux of her celebration is she's excited that the federal Department of Education is going to be out of the public school system, and it'll be up to the states to decide what to teach at the public schools. But is the Department of Education involved in mandating or deciding what the curriculum is at public schools right now? No. The U.S. Department of Education does not mandate curriculum. Curriculum is primarily a state and local responsibility. States and local governments are responsible for establishing schools, developing curricula, and setting graduation requirements. This is the primary difference between the current MAGA talking points, right? They utilize culture war topics, not policy. They say, we want to get the federal government out of your child's school. You and your local government should decide what is taught to your children in your schools, right? Yeah, that sounds great. That's how it is now. That's what happens now. But they focus on the feeling, the reaction that these buzzwords and these headlines have. That's what matters to the MAGA base, how it makes me feel, right? I'm afraid, or I'm fed up, or I'm tired of it. And that's fine. Those are perfectly legitimate emotions to have around policy that you don't agree with. But you can't say you don't agree with a policy if you don't understand the parameters of the policy you claim not to agree with. So what does the Department of Education do for schools and students if they don't mandate curriculum, which they don't? It does an immense amount of good. K through 12 programs. Title I, it provides funding for children from low-income families. Free and reduced lunch, for one. How can you be expected to learn and retain the information if your stomach is in pain from being so hungry, right? We want to feed children who are in school. That's a good thing. Special education programs provides funding for children with disabilities. It literally funds and allocates funding for public schools to have special education teachers, to have special education programs, to make it easier for children who have special needs to go and learn in a safe environment. School improvement programs awards grants to schools for initiatives to improve educational outcomes. A big function of the Department of Education is research. It conducts an immense amount of research to find which school districts, which schools in particular, needs more funding allocated, right? You know, inner city schools maybe, or rural schools that don't have a whole lot of funding coming in just because the amount of people that live there is not that much. So they provide extra funding so that they can improve the playground at the elementary school, so that they can improve the facilities. So if there's something that's falling apart, the federal government helps keep schools opened and maintained. For higher education, they provide funding for Pell Grants and the Federal Student Loan Program. For people who otherwise couldn't afford to go to college, the Department of Education makes it so that they can. So when you get on here and you make these videos and you proclaim that you're excited about the Department of Education closing, that means that you're excited about children from low-income families not getting free or reduced lunch or breakfast. You're excited about special education programs being cut. No more children with special needs going to public schools. It means that you're excited that if the roof is coming down in the cafeteria, it's going to be on you and your local community to find the funds to fix it expeditiously rather than having funds allocated from the federal government to help. It means that you're excited that Pell Grants and federal student aid programs are going to be cut because people who can't afford to college just shouldn't go in the first place, whether they want to or not. That's what you're saying. Ignore the buzzwords. Ignore how they make you feel. They are constructed to make you feel a certain way so that you will vote a certain way. Don't listen to the buzzwords. Understand the context of the policies, right? Do some reading on it. A more informed electorate is my only goal. So please, inform yourselves.